From wooden training aircraft to supersonic fighters, Yakovlev created more than 200 aircraft that shaped the history of Soviet aviation. What follows is the complete story of Yakovlev aircraft development, beginning with an experimental and academic period in which none of the designs entered mass production, yet many of the core design principles would influence Yakovlev aircraft for decades to come. Air 1, 1927, marked the beginning of Yakovlev's journey with a simple but stable two-seat wooden trainer designed while Alexander Yakovlev was still a student, establishing the philosophy of lightweight construction and easy handling. Air 2 soon followed as a performance-improved version, bringing Yakovlev recognition within Soviet aviation circles and moving his work beyond purely academic experimentation. Air 3 was a single-seat aerobatic aircraft, where Yakovlev began pursuing high maneuverability and precise control response, traits that would later define Yak fighters. Air 4 continued the experimental role as a light utility aircraft, allowing research into cockpit layout and fuselage space with an emphasis on practical training and liaison use. Air 5 marked a critical transition as Yakovlev moved away from biplane designs toward modern monoplanes, reflecting a more advanced aerodynamic approach. Air 6 was a two-seat cabin aircraft focused on stability, visibility, and structural durability for sport flying and basic training. Air 7 closed this early chapter as a high-speed racing aircraft, serving as a flying laboratory that helped Yakovlev master drag reduction and performance optimization knowledge that would directly influence later military designs. The pre-war period saw Yakovlev establish a true training and combat foundation. UT-1 1936 was an advanced single-seat trainer designed to refine precise handling and aerobatic skills, serving as a bridge between basic training and frontline combat flying. UT-2 1937 fulfilled the basic training role, with a simple, durable two-seat design that could be mass-produced to rapidly train large numbers of pilots for the Soviet Air Force. Alongside trainers, Air 9 appeared as a light experimental transport, reflecting Yakovlev's expansion into civil and logistical aircraft, while Air 10 served as a liaison and command aircraft with an enclosed cockpit for staff transport. Air 12 was built as a record-setting aircraft to test altitude and range limits, providing valuable aerodynamic data. Yakovlev's first step toward combat aircraft came with I-19, a pre-war fighter prototype that was never mass-produced, but directly influenced later Yak fighters. This transition culminated in BB-22, Yakovlev's initial designation for a light bomber and reconnaissance aircraft, which entered production as Yak-2 and Yak-4. Yak-2 1939 prioritized speed, but suffered from limited bomb load and defensive armament, while Yak-4 improved performance with more powerful engines, yet both were quickly replaced as World War II began. During World War II, Yakovlev developed a continuously evolving fighter family. Yak-1 1940 became the first mass-produced Yak fighter and the backbone of Soviet fighter aviation in the early war years, balancing maneuverability, firepower, and rapid wartime production. From this foundation, Yak-7 1942 emerged as a practical example of Yakovlev's philosophy, converting a trainer into a robust frontline fighter capable of both air combat and ground attack. Weight reduction and aerodynamic refinement reached a turning point with Yak-1M, an experimental prototype that directly led to Yak-3 1944, one of the most maneuverable fighters of the war, especially effective at low altitude and highly regarded by Soviet pilots. Alongside these performance-focused designs, Yak-9 1942 became the most widely produced Soviet fighter of the war, its adaptable airframe supporting numerous variants, ranging from long-range escort and reconnaissance to heavy anti-tank roles. Supporting and experimental types such as Yak-5, used to test new engines and structures, and Yak-6, a light liaison and transport aircraft, completed a versatile combat ecosystem suited to total war. After the war, Yakovlev entered the jet age with Yak-15 1946, the first Yak jet to enter service, adapting the Yak-3 airframe to accelerate the Soviet transition to jet aviation. Yak-17 1947 refined the concept with tricycle landing gear and improved handling, enabling more systematic jet pilot training. Experimental efforts continued with Yak-19, which tested nose intake layouts, and Yak-21, representing Yakovlev's search for optimal jet configurations in the late 1940s. This learning process culminated in Yak-23 1947, a highly successful light jet fighter with excellent low-altitude performance that was exported across Eastern Europe, marking Yakovlev's full maturity in early jet design. Entering the Cold War, Yakovlev shifted toward larger, more powerful jet platforms. Yak-25 was designed as a long-range, all-weather twin-engined interceptor to defend the vast Soviet airspace, forming the foundation of Yakovlev's heavy jet lineage. Yak-26 expanded this airframe into reconnaissance and light bombing roles, while Yak-27 further improved interceptor performance with more powerful engines. This evolution peaked with Yak-28, a large supersonic multi-role jet family capable of interceptor, tactical bomber, and reconnaissance missions, serving for decades and defining Yakovlev's Cold War direction. Yakovlev's most distinctive legacy emerged through VTOL development. Yak-36 1963 initiated Soviet vertical takeoff and landing research, solving fundamental control and lift challenges. Yak-71 1971 became the world's first VTOL combat aircraft to enter regular naval service, operating from Soviet light aircraft carriers and proving the concept viable despite limitations. The pinnacle was Yak-141 1987, a supersonic VTOL fighter with an advanced design far ahead of its time, regarded as one of the most sophisticated experimental aircraft of the late Cold War. Alongside military innovation, Yakovlev left a lasting civilian and training legacy. Yak-40 1966 became the world's first small regional airliner, launching regional jet aviation. Yak-75 1975 followed as a medium-range tri-jet airliner, reflecting Soviet ambitions in modern civil aviation. In the military training role, Yak-136 1996 emerged as an advanced jet trainer capable of simulating modern fighter characteristics and remains in widespread service today. This lineage continues with Yak-152 2016, an advanced primary trainer using advanced materials and avionics, closing nearly a century of Yakovlev aircraft development. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.